I'm Janus Jaguar, and in this video tutorial, I introduce to you the Command & Conquer General Zero Hour Modding Guide. As I've been making these tutorial videos and text for these while now, and even in the Discord talking to everybody, I've come to find that there's a rather knowledge gap, and it feels a little weird when you have to keep on asking people for help. You should be able to do this for yourself. This is why I'm making these tutorials, so you can learn to do more. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask for help. You should ask for help. That's how we learn so much. This is how I learned a lot. I've read other stuff. So let me introduce you to the guide. This is a text guide that will introduce you to modding Zero Hour from very beginning status to even expert level of editing. This is a work in progress. As you can see over here, I have several incompletes and work in process tags. Now, let me introduce you to the way that this works. So as I made my first video ever, I essentially went down and explained the programs first, and then I went through the different files, and then we went through different things that you could add to your game. And that's how I kind of wrote this up too. So we would end up, so if you started reading this guide yourself, you would start with learning what you need, the programs you need to download, and I would tell you how to exactly use these programs, and what they look like. And I think the coolest feature of all of this is I'm going to be adding photos. And even though, see this, how this is small right now, since this is actually going to be a PDF or a Word document at the time being, you can actually just zoom in to 200% and it brings it up perfectly. And in fact, if you go to, use it to fit, look how beautiful and easy to read this is. This is what you see, right? This is how I can read that wonderfully. So as I was saying in the first section, I will go over the programs and I will actually give you instructions on how to use said programs or even modify it so that the program works better for you. For example, in Notepad++, I'm going to show you how to download a specific add-on that is called Compare Plus. And my overall point of this document is to make it very easy for you to understand, to give you the ideas of what things can work, and hopefully it might jostle some ideas too. So for example, I show you some meanings of various spots in the game data folder, like how much the value is per supply box, or the build speed. And another example is the mid-low energy production speed. So if you have low power, then half of the speed if you have no power. That's why if you are GLA and you get a power plant, things go crazy. Edit the minefield density to make it a little bit thicker or a little bit more sparse, or how far it comes out from the buildings. You can also edit the particle count, which may help with some lag that some views will experience. The same with the max field particle count. And some of this stuff is self-explanatory, so I don't actually write anything in. It's just I'm showing you here because these are really interesting things to know. So in Modin 202, I go over the individual INI files. So the next one in this case would be locomotors, really simple explanations, then the ranks, and I will also in Modding 202 for each INI file I go over, I will put a little mod that you can use of your own into it at the end. So for example, for the rank.ini, this is the example of rank 1. However, the edited customized rank in here is I'm going to put in for level 6, so you can have a 6 level rank if you wanted to. And as we go down a little further, I will show you, for example, in the frequently asked questions, I will start with debugging, for example. So as you can see, I have pictures here. So in this case, here's an error that would pop up at line number 9099, which exactly what that means. You would find it in the fxlist.ini at the line code 9099, and this is the exact reason why I recommend Notepad++, because when you go to your Notepad++, it gives you the line numbers. So in that case, we can go to line 9099 to find that error. My personal favorite section is the interesting module tags. In the interesting module tags section, basically what I do is I talk about the interesting aspect of a particular module tag. So do the same thing. I just pop out various tags. And below this is all of the mod tutorials that I've made that are in text form, and some of them are actually also some of my videos, which I also will be referencing in. Additionally, I will have links in here too that will also refer to my YouTube page, because I will also have some videos on many of the aspects that I have written in here. So for example, I do have a debugging video that I will link, and I have a video on the programs that I also will link. I also have links to the downloads for the programs needed. So I believe that this will make a nice uniform document, and I would hope that you would spread this. I have no problem with you sharing it with others. Eventually, when I complete it, I will make it into a PDF file to make it simpler, but in other cases, and currently, you could share it around, use link below, and maybe if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or maybe if you see some errors when I actually get around to completing everything, feel free to comment it, or if you have anything you want to add, let me know, and I could even, if you write it up yourself, I will throw it in there and give you credit for it, of course. If you want to translate it to a different language, I only speak American English, feel free to let me know, and I can even host that file too, it's no problem. And I won't have actually much text that you would need to translate either. It's because the directions are going to be as simple as possible, and I mean, it's most, as I said in another video, most of the modding is copy and pasting, you know, so I don't need to tell you more than that. You know what you're doing. You'll learn. Also, as I write this on, I am making some levels of assumptions within this document. For example, I am going to assume that you've read Modding 101 and 201, for example. And of course, the instructions will vary in difficulty and depending on how well versed you are with modding the game, but I will mark them off as, you know, beginner, easy, medium, or hard. And basically, this is, in my opinion, that's based on how much code needs to be modified and the difficulty of the code that needs to be modified. So for example, before I started making this video, I started putting some of the letters in. As you can see, I also put in 2 letters like EM, because adding more colors, it's an easy one, but it's also kind of medium because it can get tedious if you add a lot of colors. It takes more time because you need to make a modification in both an INI file and the CSF file. This build a crate of money one is because it's actually, you need to make a whole new building that you need to copy and paste, so that takes a little time. That if you don't too familiar with that, but it's also easy too, because it's just literally copying and pasting and changing a name. And as you can see, this is a work in progress, and I will hopefully, maybe we can get some ideas to collaborate together, guys. Hopefully this is really helpful stuff. Thanks, and feel free to join the Discord and leave a comment, like, subscribe. There's going to be another special at 200. I don't know what that is yet. Probably just another showcase of my mod. I'm also out of modding ideas, so if you have any curiosities on how to mod something, or you need a video tutorial, feel free to let me know and I'll get right on that. Thank you a bunch. And that is all that past Janus Jaguar has to say. Janus Jaguar, can you sign me off? I'm pretty, yeah, what it's called. Why does past Janus always do this to future Janus? I'm joking. Past Janus takes great care of present Janus and future Janus. Isn't that right, future Janus? Oh yeah, past Janus takes care of future Janus real great. Anyway, see you on the Discord, comment below, thank you very much, and have a great time, guys.